Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. The Big Three, and its connection to the real world, as well as to the spiritual world. The Big Three of manga, as well as the Big Three of religions. We'll go in order of religions. Let's start with the Torah and the Kabbalah. First of all, God is a word with a religious concept, but not necessarily with a spiritual concept. In spirituality, God does not necessarily exist, because every being is spiritual and mental. Imagine nothingness, a total chaos. A light appeared in nothingness that we call our sun, or in English, our first. The primordial, the first that we have all seen. But in the spirit of debate, it can be considered the second, because before it, there was the static state of zero, the motionless state. Blackness was everywhere, and this blackness we call all, our whole. It's impossible to know how many of us were in the whole. All we can imagine is that there were as many of us as there are living beings on the planet Earth. This light, Yuhabak, appeared after our prayers. Our prayers of light, our prayers of that which is contrary or opposed to who we are. All darkness therefore prayed for light, for life, and for what it brings, so that we would not be attached to anything, meaning nothingness. This child's name was Light, because it was its first attribute. He gave us the vision, and we called him Lucifer, the bearer of light and the morning star, the one who will let us do, our Savior and Healer. We gave him the names of angels, because light rhymes with angels. We are only his bearer. Without him, darkness shines. Allah is darkness. Darkness is as numerous as there are false lights. By religious principle, the Jews do not worship or did not worship God, but they worshipped a Messiah who was their last king. In other words, Allah does not worship himself, but he worships his Messiah. Muslims, in their own worship of Allah, they worship only themselves once they have understood the principle. The goal of One Piece is to find peace, and the guiding principle is the Gaza conflict. That's where all the issues are. It's about accepting that your neighbor is Allah, and that you yourself is Allah. The one who opens your eyes is Jehovah, but the one who can make his own peace is Allah. Remember on Mars, you followed Jehovah towards life, and you asked him, "We only see you. Is it possible that we see ourselves too?" Then he dyed you a red color like the AC Milan jersey. Then you told him, "We all look alike here on Mars. We are like shadows in the red earth. Let's resume the journey with you, O Jehovah. Let's follow Jehovah towards his initial destination, Earth." Then I said to you, "Do you want to get out of the abysses you are like trolls and goblins?" You answered me, "Yes, there are like women over there." And my final message was to tell you, fools, there is only you and me, Jehovah and Allah. If you saw women over there, you will surely become those women. Judaism does not teach that there is a God, otherwise we are all gods. Judaism rather teaches that there is a king of the gods, a Zeus in the pantheon, or an Adam in Eden. To anoint is not just to perfume an anointed person with oil, but to anoint is to diminish, to reduce, to lessen, to lower to a level where Jehovah is not the most powerful, but rather the most important, the essential. A bit like the spiritual king in Bleach. We keep him alive because he is life itself, but we especially keep him sealed and locked up because he could destroy us all. Or for One Piece fans, he could swallow us down. We are not looking for peace. Peace is contradictory because we are at war with ourselves. The Messiah is the King of the Jews. By that we mean that we are all Jews in one way or another. Because to be Jewish is to be nationalist, patriotic, chauvinist. To worship only one's nation. To do so, we believe that we are in one way or another superior and chosen. I'm from Congo. I know what Baiso na Baiso means. It means between us Congolese, or rather between us Jews. Pirates' treasures have always been coins of great wealth. Except in One Piece, where the greatest treasure for humanity is peace. And this at any cost, even if it means swallowing up the earth, or invoking Madara's infinite dream. If you want to be one, in Madara's case you have to accept that you are all white Zetsus, and that women and men have all the same faces. Personally, I have no problem being Naruto, and being surrounded by my clones because in the end, as with Jiraiya's training, Naruto came out to be the big winner against his clones. So in summary, you wanted to get out of the darkness, and you are. You wanted to have different appearances, and you have. And finally, you wanted to have women, and you have. What's next? You want to unite to form one in the image of Jehovah. You cannot, because the nature of this world prevents it. Biblical monotheism is dualistic. Quranic monotheism is monotonous. And Jewish monotheism is that there is no chosen one, but only one king. Again, for the Jews, God does not exist because the world is God. God is all. And there is only one Messiah who has granted us everything we have. This is how Allah is rich and the Messiah poor. The word God comes from your interpretation of the eyes. Jehovah as one is the contraction of the 8 billion beings that you are. Suffice to say that Yu Habak produced as many Quincy in the Bleach anime as in real life. A little bit of Buddhism, the yin in darkness is the white point, and the yang in light is the black point. Can the one achieve peace? The peace of the one is only an inner peace. On the other hand, your peace is demographic, geopolitic, ecological, and depends only on your own union. My help? Mark 12:31. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Unite and recognize that each of you is the same entity, Allah. Team Tomodachi. Team all united. There can only be one and his multitude of servants. Only one God and his multitude of angels. Only one king and his kingdom, the earth. Your calendar is based on one peace, gain of peace, starting with Gaza and Israel. To end this, I say, spirituality has nothing to do with religion, but deals rather with psychology. The mind is the world, and the mastermind is the king.